Hi everyone, Heather Reid here of Plan to Protect, where we help you negotiate your next contract with confidence. There are 4 things that I keep top of mind when I am preparing to negotiate a venue contract. And that might even be before we actually get a draft contract, but really preparing that whole process so it works well. So the first thing I want to mention to you is understanding every single term in a potential venue contract. So do I understand and am I able to explain to my client what the terms are, the legal terms in a venue contract? So I want to be able to explain to them in plain English, in layman's terms, things like attrition, cancellation, the difference between cancellation and termination, indemnification, sole negligence, all of those kinds of legal terms that have impact and where quite often the most risk is to the client, and I need to be able to understand those. So I need to do some prep work, remind myself what the explanations are, and really be prepared to discuss in plain English what is potentially going to be in the contract. The second thing that I need to come prepared with are the numbers. So the numbers about my event and the numbers that the venue is going to be looking for to really make an informed decision about my piece of business. So these, they're not an exclusive or exhaustive list, but things like, do I know the industry standards for profit margins so that I can negotiate a balanced contract? Do I know the food and beverage spend per occupied room? Do I know the historical occupancy of the venue? Do I know what a reasonable food and beverage spend is for this particular event? So we have to come prepared with numbers because that's the language of business. We need to know our event numbers, and we also need to know the numbers that the venue is going to be looking for. The third thing that I prepare is my prioritization list. And it's not really my list, it's my client's list. And that priority list is divided into needs and wants. So I've split up the list of things that they would like to have contracted, and then they're prioritized from most urgent, most valuable to the client, down to the least would be nice to have, but not a deal breaker if we don't have them. So it's really important to spend a considerable amount of time sorting out the difference between what the client wants and what the client needs to have a successful event. Because negotiations are all about the give and take. So if we're giving things, and that's my 4th tip, if we're giving things, we want to be able to take something. So it's that back and forth. So we don't want to give away our client's most prioritized need. Rather, we would rather give away or give up on our client's least prioritized want. So really knowing those 2 things about what are the needs and the wants, and then what are you able to give away and take. Because if you're asked to give up something or the venue can't accommodate something, then you want to be prepared with an ask. So that's what negotiations is all about. It's knowing how to describe and define all of the terms so that there's no uncovered risk or unprepared for liability. You also need to know the numbers because that's the language of business. You need to know your priorities of wants and needs, and then you need to be prepared to give and take. So if these tips for negotiating a venue contract have been helpful, I would encourage you to check out the other videos on our YouTube channel, to subscribe to our newsletter, which comes out every other week, perhaps take a webinar course that digs into those legal terms, and just watch the website for new and upcoming information.